Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Monday edition, Memorial Day edition of Today in Sports Betting, joined as always by my partner, Mr. Scott Reichel. Scott, happy Monday, happy Memorial Day.
Yep, happy Memorial Day to you too. How was your weekend?
It's good. It was good. Before we get rolling, I do want to give a special shout out and a thanks to all of you that have served, and of course, all of you that have family members that have served, or in some cases, even made the ultimate sacrifice. As always, we salute each and every one of you. We couldn't do what we do without you doing what you do. So again, much appreciated. Enjoy your day. Have yourself an extra burger on me. That's tell them I said so. Yeah, we had a good week. We pushed a lot. We had a lot of pushes. Did okay on our free videos on the premium side. We pretty much pushed. I know you've been hotter than a $2 pistol there, buddy. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Well, we all know gambling with handicapping comes in waves, so I'm just trying to ride it high as I can.
That's all you can do, man. You ride the crest because you know the wipeout's coming. So yeah, make hay while the sun shines.
I feel like I'm kind of cheating because all I'm doing is just taking Lakers and Knicks unders. It just keeps winning, man. Like I said, I was going to do it a week and a half ago, and it's literally never lost.
Well, that Knicks game, yeah,
I got a very good number. Let's put it that way.
You got a very good break. We had that as a premium play too, and that's one of those. That's one of those push wins, is what I would call that, as opposed to a push loss, because that game was pretty much, as far as the total goes, in a world of hurt, with about 3 minutes left or so.
Well, the Randall flagrant didn't help when he decided to just shove Gallinari for no reason down 25. That didn't really help matters.
I don't really understand what
you want to send a message or something. I don't know what the message is. You're down 3-1. You got killed in both games on the road, but sure, you had a tough guy moment. I don't really get it, but whatever.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out okay. We're at 2:09, Scott. 2:09 yep. With 2 minutes and 6 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean it was 2:07 with about 2:06 left, and then Baird hit a layup, missed the free throw for the and one, and then nobody scored for the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, it's just pretty much one of those things where you're like, oh, come on, you're just begging for the basketball gods to give you a break, and you actually.
Well, that was the thing though, is that I thought I was going to lose. I mean, of course, you thought I was going to lose at that point, yeah. But I thought I handicapped it perfectly. Like I said, one of these teams is not going to reach 100. I said the Knicks are going to look terrible offensively, and everything happened except for the fact that the Knicks defense was just awful.
I handicapped it perfectly. Oh, give me the Knicks under.
Just saying, no, but the way the game played out, I mean, the Knicks offense did their part. We both thought they'd be terrible. It was just, I thought the Knicks defense would provide a little bit more resistance on anybody throughout those 48 minutes.
Yeah.
But, oh well, it's a win's a win.
Yeah, they go, the third quarter was the big one. They gave up 35 points to the Hawks in the third quarter. Otherwise, they, pretty much did what they've been doing.
Yep.
All right, Scott. So we're going to take a look here. 2 games on the agenda for today. We're going to start off, and I know you've got a play on this. I've got a premium play on this, so I'm not going to say a whole lot about it, but it's going to be the Philadelphia-Washington game. For starters, Scott, let's just get it out of the way. For me, I'm a big fan of the over in this game. I do have a premium play on the side, but I do like the over quite a bit. This Philadelphia team seem to have a lot of scorers right now. Of course, Beal has really stepped up for the Wizards. Westbrook is still Westbrook. He's kind of underperformed so far in this series, but he's always a threat. So I think this is a team that ends up going over the total here.
Yeah, for me, it was my play today. I have the Sixers minus the 8. At the end of the day, you're looking at a pretty similar script to what we've seen from the Bucks Heat series. People want to make an argument. It's a win-or-go-home game for Washington. Maybe they'll show up and do something. And my argument is, why? Are you saying that Game 3 was not a must-win game because they couldn't afford to go down 3-0 to the number 1 seed in the East? No, every game's been a must-win for Washington because they're against the best team in the East record-wise, and they have gotten absolutely buried. Now, Game 1 was close, kind of like what happened in the Bucks series. And then the other 2 games after that were complete bloodbaths. Philly won each of the next 2 games by at least 25 points. They're scoring at least 120 points in every game. Meanwhile, Washington's offense has been struggling a bit lately, mostly because of the fact that Westbrook, as you talked about, whether it's the ankle injury, whether it's just the settling for jump shots, he's only shooting 40% from the floor in the series, which has been an issue. Now, Beal's been very good. He's shooting over 48%, but I have the numbers for Philly's offense here. The entire team is shooting 54.5% from the floor. That's almost impossible. You're 3 games in a series.
That's like they have 3 7-footers that are just shooting sky hooks from 5 feet out.
Embiid is shooting over 67% from the floor. They're 3 games into a series. How do you even let that happen?
It's pretty strong. Well,
the point is that I think Philly's
don't have anybody in the middle. That's how you let it happen.
That's the thing, is that you're looking at Washington. You can talk about Scott Brooks. I know both of us don't exactly like him as a head coach. But what adjustments can you even make when nobody on your team plays any defense at all? Who's Washington's best defensive player? Robin Lopez? Like, I don't know who your best defensive player is.
Well, especially in the middle. I mean, I
like Gafford maybe a little, but like you have 3 big men that you rotate. They're all not very good. I think Gafford's okay. But your best regular defender is Hachimura? Like, I don't know. Everybody's wide open the entire time. I got to assume Philly buries him.
Yeah, you've got Hachimura, you've got Lynn, you've got Gafford.
I mean, good luck to you, man. But when the big 3 for Philly are all shooting at least 57% from the floor, and the entire team is shooting over 54%, and Washington, we know, was one of the worst defensive teams in the entire league all season long, why am I supposed to assume they're suddenly going to figure out how to stop this Philly team? Because they clearly can't. And I know that's why you like the over, because you think the pace will help dictate the points, and you know that Philly's offense should do whatever it wants against Washington. But I'm just going to go with Philly, and I love the team total. It's at 118.5. They scored at least 120 in every game, as I said. I think the only way this doesn't go over is if Philly goes up by a lot and just calls off the dogs in the middle of the fourth quarter. But Philly knows they can use the extra time off, especially with Embiid's injury history. I think they'll just try to end it now. And Washington, I think they'll go down early, and I think they'll probably roll over. But that's just my opinion on the game. But if in terms of the total, I'm going to stick with the team total over instead of the full game because Philly's defense has been very good in the series.
Well, and you got to remember that you think, well, it's the playoffs. These teams are pretty evenly matched. Should be a tight game. And then you remember that Philly finished 15 games in front of the Washington Wizards this season. So they were substantially better during the regular season, and they've been substantially better in the postseason so far. So.
Plus, you want to look at just the 2 teams in comparison. You talk about the win differential, but this is normally what happens in the playoffs. You have the 1 seed beat the crap out of the 8 seed, and usually the 2 seed also kills the 7 seed. That's usually what happens, and I know people have complained about all the blowouts we had over the weekend. Definitely wasn't fun. You didn't have many close games over the weekend. But am I overly surprised that Philly is dominating a team that needed to play in a play-in game just to be here? No, I'm not surprised because Washington is an entertaining but extremely flawed team.
Utah, Memphis, Scott, as those 2 go at it there in Memphis. What do you got here?
Well, I know the spread in this one is 5 for Utah. A lot of over money. Has gone from around 223.5 to around 224.5. Even 1 or 2 225s popping up. But I'm not going to touch the side. I know Utah did win on the road in Game 3, got home court back. The game was very close until about the last 2.5 minutes, and then Utah went on a serious run. But I don't really want to lay points with Utah on the road. So I like the over. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. Both teams have been going extremely fast-paced in the series, and you haven't seen many stops. Now, I know Gobert, of course, is blocking a lot of shots, but he also has gotten into foul trouble, and I do think that's an issue, especially whenever he's off the court. Utah's defense, I don't want to say falls apart, but it's not good. And I think if you're looking at a situation where all 3 games in the series have gone over, why would I not take the over in this game?
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. This is a Jazz team that has just been on fire from deep. You know, they were the 4th best shooting team from downtown in the NBA regular season, but they have definitely stepped it up a notch in the postseason. They've shot better than 46% from distance, and they've got 5 guys that could legitimately shoot from downtown, and there's no way the Grizzlies defend them all. Of course, in Game 1, Mitchell was held out of that one, but they've been a much better team in the other 2 games. And the thing about when they put Mitchell in there, he's one of those guys that just makes everybody around him better.
Mhm.
It gives Mike Conley a little freedom to not just create, but take some shots of his own. Every starter in the 2 games Mitchell has played has put up at least 12 points. Again, this is a team that comes at you from a lot of different directions. I like the over as well. I think over 224.5. Very good. Morant's been very good for Memphis. Brooks has been surprisingly good on the offensive side of the ball, putting up 20 or better in all 3 of his games. So it's not like Utah has absolutely shut this team down. So I think Utah's going to get theirs. I agree. There is some question about whether Memphis can score enough to keep it within the number. But if they don't, I think Utah's going to, go for 130. If they end up covering the spread, I think they're going to put up 130 plus. So
Yeah, once again, I'm not saying that
plenty of meat on the bone.
I'm not saying Memphis is going to cover this number.
Right.
I'm just saying I feel a lot better about the total than I do about the spread.
Yeah, I agree. I think the total is the better play there. I'm not getting involved with Memphis. They haven't shown me they can beat this team when they have Donovan Mitchell. So
offensively they can. They just don't get enough stops.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they can score to keep up, which makes it a perfect over. So,
but I know that those are the only 2 games on the card. But I kind of want to ask you about something that happened over the weekend. I know we don't exactly know what the status is going to be for Anthony Davis, but I feel like it's kind of worth talking about. Do you think that if Davis is out, the Lakers are just going to lose the series, or do you think they beat Phoenix anyway?
No.
You think they're just dead to rights?
I think they're an underdog. I don't know that they're dead to rights. As long as you've got, one of the top 3 basketball players of all time on your roster, you've certainly got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But
it hurts a lot.
This team looks very, very different without AD.
Definitely does. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm a huge under guy whenever AD plays, but with him out of the lineup, they're going to go probably faster. Mm-hmm. But you also have Marc Gasol thrown in there. So I don't really know what to expect with this team if AD doesn't play.
I'll tell you what, every time I turn on the game, Marc Gasol makes a 3-pointer.
Yes, every single time.
I know he's made about 4 the whole season, but
he's made a bunch of threes in this series, or he feels that way, but he's been good defensively.
Really does.
I'm just curious about it, but I agree. I think you can never really count out LeBron. I don't know if Davis is going to play, so it's pure speculation. I also think if he does play, he's either going to be extremely limited, not Willis Reed limited, but you know what I mean, or he's going to be so high on painkillers he's not going to know what state he's in. Possibly both. I don't even know.
It's a groin injury, man. So that's
not, especially with a guy who constantly involves, jumping and taking a ton of punishment. That is not.
Well, it's also not something that you really want to mask.
Yeah.
You don't really want to mask that with a bunch of painkillers because you can do some real damage and not know you're doing it. So, I think they give themselves something to take the edge off. But as far as being able to numb that pain, I don't think you want to do that.
I'm just trying to think what they can do, to be honest. I don't think they're going to hold out AD for one game.
There's a trainer going to earn their money in the next 2 days, Scott. You're going to be working on Anthony Davis's groin about 15 hours a day.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm looking at it from, if they don't care about the future damage potential, I expect a decent amount of, I'd say, substances in his body, but we'll see. I still think that series is going to be an under machine, so I'm still going to take it and see what happens. But I made a pledge, man. I can't stop taking Knicks and Lakers unders until they screw me.
Well, the Knicks have kind of been a sweat, but
very close.
The Lakers haven't.
No, that's not even close. The Lakers game.
So
and the one that went over was an all-time bad beat, but yeah. I had still ended up going under the closing number.
Right. So,
but yeah,
there you go. As always, guys, if you're looking for more information on these games or any others, don't forget to stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com. Deep dives and predictions into every game every day. It's always free. And we thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to give us the like and the subscribe if you haven't done that already. And for myself, for Scott Reichel, for the whole team over here at winnersandwhiners.com, appreciate you watching today and every day. Have a great Memorial Day once again. And you know what? We'll see you right around the corner as we do the MLB version of Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.